Take any successful startup. One factor that you'll find common is a bias towards action. Mix bias towards action with effective problem solving. You can wait for the magic to happen. This startup will evolve into something which is much bigger and better. Now, one of the important things, that hold this bias towards action and problem solving together is the collaboration. So, imagine that, essentially what bias towards action means is if your desire of the people within the startup or the employees of the startup to move, desire or willingness to move. Problem solving is their innate ability to solve any problem at hand. Now, both of these move in opposite direction. Your bias towards action demands faster problem solving, while, in its true sense, problem solving requires some time. So maybe more the time you spend on a certain problem, the better is the chance that you'll be able to provide more effective solution. How do we keep a balance between this? I think the element that holds these two things together is the effective collaboration, and that is what I'll talk about today. First, identify what are people accountable for. Identify what do people do. The way to do it is talk. Talk with people, understand what are the key tasks that they are involved in. Have genuine human-to-human conversations with anyone within your team. Try to figure out, maybe you can, sort of have a personal document around that who is doing what. This saves a lot of time when you have a problem at hand and you want to, sort of collaborate well within team or assign accountability. A handy internal list helps you a long way in order to, sort of just break down the problem that you have at your hand, break down into set of meaningful tasks and assign it to the people around. That's where effective collaboration happens. Another tactic. It's an extension of how do you talk with people within this startup. Be very picky whenever you're setting up meetings in a startup. See, a lot of startups fail to understand this, that I think Amazon handles its meeting pretty well. So, any meeting has an intrinsic bias against the bias towards action, against your willingness to move. So, effectively, in a typical meeting setting, you spend 1 hour to solve for something, and it's not, if you look at it, it's not 1 hour. It's effectively, multiple man hours. There are 6 people that are involved in that particular meeting. Consider it to be 6 man hours, right? So, I think how do we set up meeting, how do we drive the meetings is again an important part of the collaboration. Have an agenda in place before setting up a meeting. Ask yourself this question, is this meeting really important? If it's important, then again set the agenda right, identify the set of people who will be required in that meeting and only include those. Try to break down try to predict or simulate the meeting in your mind before, sort of sending out the invites. So there can be these cases where a person won't ever be needed in these meetings. Be very rational about it. Do not invite that person. At the end of every meeting, jot down the minutes of the meeting, which essentially means what was discussed in that meeting, and that should be clear enough to the NS level. It should be considered as a paid effective note-taking exercise. There should be clear actionables coming out from those minutes of the meetings. There should be a certain timeline as well as accountability from whatever set of tasks that come out of that meeting. See, time is a fairly valuable commodity in any startup. If, let's say, you feel that at any point of time during the meeting, someone presence or someone's involvement won't be there, you can request the person to move out of the meeting and consider, sort of carrying on with their set of tasks. You will be, sort of taken up fairly seriously over a period of time. In your future engagements, people will love to work with you. They will value anytime you set up meeting henceforth, and they will consider that, okay, this is a serious person who effectively understand what is expected from that person, whether that person will be effectively required or not in that particular meeting. Next, do not mix people with issues. So while collaborating, there will be a lot of these times when you will have these biases towards certain set of people, and again, it's fairly obvious. However, that shouldn't be included while you're solving a certain problem. Have a fairly unbiased view around how do you collaborate with an individual. If you understand that there is an individual who will be able to solve that particular problem better, assign that task to that particular individual. Next, keep everything scheduled. Even with the meeting that you have had, there will be multiple set of tasks that will come up. Set the calendar in advance. Again, plan it in such a way, strategizing it in such a way that even in those calendars only the right set of people are included, whose involvement will actually be needed. Try to do a lot of background work while solving a problem. Collaborate with a lot of people individually, maybe if that is required, prior to the meeting in order to ensure that they are well prepared for the meeting. If you are the person setting the meeting, sort of take this up as your responsibility to ensure that everyone is prepared for that particular meeting. Maybe a quick 10-15 minutes chat with this individual, sharing your thoughts around what is expected out of them right before the meeting, or maybe 2 days prior to the meeting, again goes a long way. See, if you look at it, collaborations can be tough. It's important not to miss that human element during these collaborations. Celebrate successes. Celebrate any milestones in a given project. Try to appreciate people around if they have done some good work. And again, that should come without biases. A good work should be rewarded.